This will be part 2 of the Alienware R13 laptop. First of all, I wanted to thank the people on Learn Electronics Repair Discord. I'll put their names down there. So it turns out that my multimeter is just shit. Cannot differentiate between half an ohm and just that short. For instance, if I set it to resistance, the highest sensitivity possible, and I'll do ground, I'm reading 0.6 which may be that short, may not be that short. For instance, I have a current sensing resistor which should be half an ohm, so now I don't know if the resistor is really half an ohm or it's just that short. Well, resistors don't usually turn up this way, but the principle is there, right? So there still may be hope for this. So what I did, I found the short on these capacitors here. So I found one capacitor that was shorted completely, one that tested funny. So I took all of them, tested all of them, and fitted them all back. Now cut helps. All those are now tested, and all those are the same specification. So anything that I had any suspicions that were two capacitors were replaced for a new ones. So on the other side of the board, to find the short, I needed to, first of all, what I needed to do, because nothing was really showing as shorted, even though there were shorts, obviously. But the thing was that the GPU and CPU are so low resistance that they were just dissipating the heat as well as the actual short was. So what I did, this is the V core here. These two were on the lower side of resistance, so these two are in parallel. So I isolated the GPU, I took all those, I isolated the CPU. So later I found that this hybrid is probably dead. I'm not sure 100%, I still need to do some measurements on it, but the first thing I've measured short on it, and that was on the, I think it was on drains. So yeah, this one was also getting pretty hot, but this may have been due to the capacitors that are on the other side of the board, because just so happens they are pretty much just above, and these hybrids are above the capacitors. I think the capacitors are here exactly, so you see the difference is not that much, and my thermal camera is shitty. So now I fitted back some things on the other side of the board, of course the capacitors, and I blown MOSFET on this side here. These two MOSFETs are back in place, so that leaves me with this double N-channel MOSFET here. Feed back those two coils, feed back all these coils but this one, right? So I'll be fitting this one and those three. I'll leave it like this for now, because when I populate all that, well, before I populate all that even, I'll do another injection and see if there is really 0 amp draw after fitting all those components back. Then I'll do next step again. I'll fit 4 here, 2 here, and I think the MOSFET here, and then I will do another injection. if all is well, I'll try to measure this more. I'll probably ask again the guys in the on Discord for help if my measurements are proper. And I also take a look around if I do have spare one of those. Highly unlikely, but you know. So I'll take the measurements. So I'll leave it without this one. It should start and should probably even work, but it will cause the other ones to stress more, so that will lower the lifespan. So ideally I would want this back also at the end of the repair, but this will be the last step. Oh well, back to work. So just a quickly, the PSU is the so 0.8 volts. Before replacing all the caps and taking out these coils, when I injected 0.8 of the volt on this capacitor, I had 4.6 amp draw and constant current mode on my PSU, and it went down to like 0.6 of a volt. Now there you go. So there's no longer a short on the CPU. Yeah, I just hope the CPU survived, because if this blown, this might send a lot of volts this way through this cap to everywhere, because these are all in parallel. So it will be sending voltage right there, which is a vehicle for CPU, and I don't know what's I didn't measure because it wasn't working, so I couldn't measure what's the voltage here, like input voltage. Output voltage will be in hundreds of millivolts, I assume, or 1.1 volt or something, depends on the CPU. I don't even know what the CPU is, to be honest. So yeah, if that sent a lot of volts there, that's dead. But I wouldn't know that before I fit everything but this one rail. Then I can, even if this still doesn't short, I may try to power it on. So it's all back together at this point. Hybrids there, all the coils, all the capacitors here, and at the bottom the coils here for the GPU. It's not yet super cleaned, I'm still cleaning it, but I must say it doesn't even matter the outcome at this point. That was the most difficult and most stressful repair I ever done. Yeah. So let's see. I think it's the moment of truth. I give it, I don't know, a couple of percent of chance. First of all, 19 volts in. Ooh, didn't blow up immediately. Okay. I have no battery inside. I just done bare minimum. We have a fan spin and a picture. Okay, there's no hard drive in it right now, or battery or anything. So yeah, but yeah, it works. Oh my god. Let's connect the thing to the thing. Oh. Yeah, this lights up. RGB, of course. Yeah, it needs charge. So, to summarize, it starts. So, to summarize, that was a very tough repair. two capacitors, one completely short, one measuring funny, two big MOSFETs on 19 volts rail. The hybrid needs this knew the CPU and the double channel N MOSFET. I needed to wait for it 3 weeks until that arrives from China. So yeah, a lot of damage on this one. The toughest repair, and without the help of the guys from the Discord, I wouldn't be able, because I pretty much was going to give up on that. Short on the CPU, turns out it was the capacitor, one of the capacitors that was pretty much short in the CPU. Very nice screen, although a bit small. Oh, nice trackpad, by the way. It all lights up. Oh, fancy. Oh yeah. Okay, I wouldn't do that again. So yeah, I don't have a pin for this one, and I won't ask. You know, that's not my data here, so I can see basically RAM working. I can see Wi-Fi module working very badly. I can only pick up one Wi-Fi here, and so it seems what it had occurred to me, let me shut it down, that one last repair that I will need to do on this one. Shut down, please, already. Thank you. Yeah, I'll leave it later and charge the battery a bit. So like I said, it's almost all together. There's one thing that I didn't see when I was taking it apart. This antenna wire, it came with the socket there, so, and the Bluetooth one is fine, but the last thing I need to do on this one is to repair this, which compared to what it was, yeah, that will be piece of cake. So thanks again, guys, from the Discord. I won't be even trying to pronounce your nicknames. I will just put them in the description. And yeah, that's a success.